Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the final game in the series between BeastyQT and WhiteRa. This is, of course, another Terran versus Protoss. This time we are here on the Shattered Temple. Right now in the series, these players are 1-1. And yes, this, again, is game number 3, the final game in the series between these two. Been pretty interesting. The past 2 games in a row, we have seen WhiteRa go for Dark Templar harassment. And it's been effective in harassing. Now, in the first game, it did allow him to actually get a really strong economy advantage and end up winning the game. Unfortunately, last game, even with the harassment, BeastyQT was able to push out with a strong 2-base push, lots of Marines and Marauders as well as a Raven, and he was able to overcome the army that WhiteRa had. In all honesty, I think WhiteRa committed a few too many resources to that Dark Templar harassment. After losing a few, he just basically continued to warp things in, and again, even though it was effective at harassing, he didn't do enough damage to basically stop BeastyQT from rolling over him in that counterattack. So there you have it. Also, it's important to keep in mind that WhiteRa did also use the opportunity of the DT harass to try to get up an expansion as well. So obviously not a whole lot going to be going on at this point in the game because there just isn't a lot to be done. It's all pretty standard stuff unless one or the other player is cheesing or doing something absurd. We're going to be seeing pretty much the same thing almost every game. What we want to pay attention to is when that gas does go down, when the refinery for BeastyQT and that assimilator for WhiteRa does eventually get dropped. We can see that probe scout moving out across the board right now. Let me just take a moment. Let me talk about my day, or not something that's actually relevant to you guys, not just like what I did or what I ate. I am having some tea right now if you're wondering about that, which you're probably not. But anyways, what's going on in the day as far as continued production? Well, this is I think this is the only commentary series I will do today. I'm just going to do this 3-game series. I am recording this week's episode of DiabloCast, the Diablo 3 podcast that is recorded every Thursday, and you can expect to see it usually Friday morning, but by the time it's done editing and actually gets uploaded onto the channel, it usually takes a few hours in all honesty. So you might be able to see that tomorrow morning or really late this evening. And then besides that, I'm also going to try to record at least 1 strategy video, possibly even 2. So definitely lots on the plate, and you may have noticed just in general, there's a lot more content coming out for me. Well, I've devoted full time to 4 strategy games, and I'm trying to, me and the team, trying to pump out as much basically content as possible to keep you guys entertained, and basically just, I guess that's basically it. I guess that's all we do. It's like I'm a monkey or something. I'm not meant to entertain you. I'm never going to sing a song, though. Do not expect me to sing a stupid song. I will not do that. So anyways, right now, Scout's moving on down. BeastyQT moving into the main base here of WhiteRa with the Scout. He's going to be able to stay in again until that Stalker comes out. Although he has been leaving when that Zealot gets out. Maybe just not wanting to pay too much attention to the micro because that maybe set him off his game just a little bit. Taking a look over here for BeastyQT, opening up with a Reaper again. We did see that Reaper opening last game. Almost ended up catching that Dark Shrine, too, with that scouting. It was very close. It's probably going to be much easier for him to actually get that Reaper inside of the base of WhiteRa this game. We do have that Stalker coming out. 1 Chrono Boost just finished on that Warp Gate research. SCV going to be moving into the probe. Going to take 1 shot, 2 shots. Should be headed back home pretty safe now after this point. Actually takes a 3rd shot. Wow, that's not good. He's trying to distract him. There you go, because the Reaper's coming. And there you go, buddy. Yeah, buddy. And the Reaper does manage to get 1 shot off the probe does manage to get 1 shot off on that Reaper. Now, unfortunately, for BeastyQT, now WhiteRa knows that Reaper is there, so he's just going to spot the edge of his base. He got 1 Zealot over here, 1 Stalker over here, so he should be all set to actually stop that Reaper from pushing in. And BeastyQT, again, going for this 1 racks into Reaper, into Expand, and 2 additional racks. So very nice play here. 1 racks opening is something that I haven't played around with a lot. Although it's obviously good, it's obviously effective. I think what I've been doing mostly is doing 2 racks, Marine, Bunker, Defense, and Expanding. That's been my kind of fast expand Terran build as of late. But this is obviously going to be effective. Unfortunately, supply blocking yourself, that's not effective. That doesn't help anybody whatsoever. But they just finished a depot down here, so going to allow him to come up with that. Reaper does manage to make it on into the main base, but what is he going to see? Not a whole lot of anything, unfortunately. I doubt that he even caught that Robo. No, in fact, he did not. So didn't catch anything. We do have a 4-gate Robo. WhiteRa gonna be super aggressive early game, and this is dangerous for our buddy BeastyQT. BeastyQT is going to be under a lot of pressure in the not too distant future. A 4-gate Robo, and oh no, Scan going down right on top of it, and he catches that. He knows exactly what's... Actually, he didn't even catch that 4th gate. Wow, so all he sees right now is a 2-gate Robo, but there's in fact a 4-gate Robo, and here we go, starting the pressure already. Warp Prism warping in some units. Zealot's destroying this light army here, and actually lifting up a couple of that low health guys. Needs to be careful not to lose the Warp Prism, though. Of course, those Marines are able to drop that out of the sky very very quickly. This is going to be super aggression here from WhiteRa. Hopefully he turns that into a warp gate instead of just having a wasted gateway down there. Is he going to warp in down here? Yes, I believe he is. And WhiteRa is just going to keep up this pressure. He's got a few resources pooled. In the next 30 seconds, he's going to have another wave of units coming in. He's also coming out with a Twilight Council. WhiteRa staying on one base, and he wants to kill BeastyQT right now. Fortunately, BeastyQT knows this pressure is coming, so although he's not going to expand, look at this bombing of these Zealots right here in the resource line. They're actually going to go straight for that bunker and then warping in some additional Zealots. There are a lot of Zealots here, but man manages to drop down that War Prism, unfortunately. We're going to get another one from WhiteRa. WhiteRa is going to do a hell of a lot of damage right now. SCV is just actually stopping right there, trying to trap in those Zealots and allow those Marines and this Marauder to actually take them out. That is very nice there. BeastyQT unfortunately sacrificing those SCVs, but that is basically the best thing that he could have done to stop those guys from destroying his Marines and Marauders very quickly. So very nice there by BeastyQT. He has managed to defend against this so far. WhiteRa is basically too far down the rabbit hole right now to actually pull back. He needs to just continue up this one base play because, again, we do see BeastyQT has up this Expo. He's able to basically re-up his SCVs very, very quickly. In fact, it almost seems as if he's taken no damage, even though we know he has in terms of economy. And oh no, Marines dropping down that War Prism again, gonna chase it down, 2 HP, and they'd managed to drop it out of the sky, so that is 2 times in a row that WhiteRa has in fact lost his War Prism. Also concerned about the possibility of those DT. We are seeing that engineering bait come into play. BeastyQT is happy to stay on one base because he knows that his opponent WhiteRa is still on one base. Why is he confirmed of this? Well, because so far he's been so aggressive, there's basically nothing else that he could have done. And in all honesty, I think BeastyQT is looking to be in a very strong position. We do, of course, see WhiteRa. He is trying to come out with this Expo right now. He's going to be trying to get that economy back up. He basically cut probes for a little while and wasn't able to afford them and trying that continuous aggression. Stalker going to be spotting this Expo once it does get lifted up and drop down. Actually, no, moving away just before he manages to spot that. And luckily so, because there's a lot of Marines and Marauders pushing out. They do have stim pack, but not even going to bother just to chase down one Stalker. Basically not worth it. WhiteRa has got a lot of tech. He's got this Dark Shrine. He could move out with some DT. Do we have any turrets coming up anywhere? I don't think we do, actually. So no turrets coming anywhere. So those Dark Templar could actually move in and do a little bit of damage. That's a little bit dangerous. So Dark Templar, there are no Dark Templar on the board. Yeah, never mind. Yes, there is. There is that one Dark Templar. Is there 2? Yes, there is 2. And the other 2 are over here, moving on into the main base. And this could be dangerous. Again, WhiteRa, with this affinity for Dark Templar, are going to tear through these SCVs so quickly. Look at how quickly those 2 Dark Templar just rip through the SCV line. And also down here, that one Dark Templar going to town. Scan is going down, but I think that's the only energy he has. No, he does have another energy for a scan. So there's going to be a second scan very shortly, but when is he going to do it? Second scan going down there. So this one Dark Templar is going to be free to go to work over here in the main base. Is he going to work on depots? Is he going to try to work on the army? What exactly is he going to do? Moving on in, and going to actually start to try to whittle down the army of BeastyQT. So again, with this DT harass, WhiteRa is now in the main base with basically 0 opposition. There's almost no way right now BeastyQT is going to be able to get a turret inside of the main base, and this is a very bad situation for him. He's going to start losing these attachments, and he is in fact just deciding to lift these off. He's going to pump out these double Marines here first, and then he's probably going to just lift off these barracks and move them on over here as well. BeastyQT forced to relocate to his Expo, and he is actually going to be trying to counterattack right now. I don't think he can catch this. No, he can't. He can't even see it right now. So going to be trying to move out for a counterattack, but is it going to be enough? Will he be able to do enough damage? We do have a couple of Zealots that just warped in right there. We are seeing continued production, so WhiteRa trying to continue up to work on this economy while he's harassing here. And it's unbelievable the amount of damage that he's doing to BeastyQT. BeastyQT, he is not a fan of Dark Templar, I have to say. But look at this main army of BeastyQT walking right into WhiteRa's base. And is this going to be another repeat of last game? WhiteRa with those DT, is he able to actually handle the aggression? Going to be dropping down that first pylon. Second pylon goes down, unpowering 2 of these warp gates here. A scan dropping the 1 DT in the back and going to be powering down this one as well. So, oh no, WhiteRa going to be losing power to all of those. He does have this one warp gate over here that he can still warp in with. Now, the DT are still in the main base, but is he actually going to be able to do any economic damage? We have a bunker here to try to put some units in there if the DT try to move down. And I think BeastyQT is actually going to win this again. WhiteRa being unable to defend his main against this bio counter push with all that harassing DT. It is still not enough. This is unbelievable here. Trying to come down with some pylons, but I don't think he's going to be able to do so. As long as these Marines and Marauders just pay attention over here, they should be able to keep these things unpowered. And WhiteRa, well, he can't warp anything in, so what is he going to do? He's still got these DTs, actually going to head back home with those. We are seeing BeastyQT do the smart thing. He is saving up that energy. See, he's got enough energy for 2 scans right now. So even when these 2 DT roll in, he's going to be able to drop that first scan for this one right here. There you go. And then that second scan right there. It doesn't even matter, though. WhiteRa calls the good game. So unbelievable. Game number 3 in a row, we've seen a Dark Templar from WhiteRa. Unfortunately, for the past 2 games, it hasn't worked out quite well enough for him. The counterattack from BeastyQT, even with all that harassment, it was just way too much for WhiteRa to actually handle. So there you go, guys. Game number 3. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. And once more, if you enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Keep watching and keep owning.